Alright, what's going on, guys? We got a market recap today for Monday, April 21st. It is the first day of the trading week. I did not personally take any trades today. Yeah, but I was bearish today coming into this morning. We'll go over what I saw, where I was potentially looking to enter on a trade. But we have now come down and taken this high time frame, well, what would be the high time frame market structure shift to confirm and move lower to this daily sell side liquidity. We're gonna have to wait and see how price reacts off of this. Currently, we have an SMT at this low here, but this was my external draw for today. And after this gets taken, there's no reason for me to even be on the charts. But let's get into the bias. Let's just go full screen NQ here. So pretty similar bias to what we had at the end of last week. Last week we had this market maker sell model after reacting out off of this 4-hour order block. Overnight we opened up somewhere around this range. We had this 15-minute new day opening gap right here marked by these blue lines. So overnight we were around here when I went to bed last night, and I wanted to potentially see us to start to work our way up to this gap, fill this gap, and then come down and complete this sell model here, this 4-hour sell model. But market opened and we had already taken this 4-hour sell side liquidity, which was what I was mainly trying to look for in the morning. So when I log on, I see that we've already taken this liquidity, and we have one of two options. Oh, we have two options, right? We can either inverse this 15-minute fair value gap, because we've already taken this liquidity, right? So we can either inverse this fair value gap, break structure to the upside. This would be our market structure shift right here. And I'm looking on the 15-minute time frame because that's with the time frame alignment. This is 4-hour sell side. That's what would give me confidence to target this new day opening gap. So market opens. Let me just put this right here. We have two options. We can either invert this fair value gap and break structure to the upside above this swing high here, and then potentially target this new day opening gap after taking this liquidity. That's option one, because new day opening gaps are typically a very strong pool of liquidity or strong draw for the market. Option two is we can continue lower and respect bearish PDRAs and continue lower to this external, what is in this scenario our external sell side liquidity, draw on liquidity down here. In order for that to be confident in a trade, though, I would need to see this 15-minute continue to be respected and see continuation to the downside below the swing low here, which is what we got. And then after that happened, if we zoom in, there's no pullback to any sort of imbalances. We did have a pullback to this 5-minute, a slight pullback to this 5-minute for value gap. But if we zoom into the 1-minute chart, you can see there's no sort of entry for taking sell side liquidity. So there was no trade for me. I was looking to potentially go short right here. This would be a lower probability trade. And why is that? It's because we've taken this 4-hour sell side, and at this point in time when the market opens, we haven't displaced lower and showed that we want to continue lower after taking the sell side liquidity. But we did have this 15-minute fair value gap, and we had a high within it. This would be our 15-minute sell side liquidity right here. And we came up and turtle soup this high within this bearish 15-minute fair value gap. Obviously, the higher time frames are bearish, so there's still good reasons to potentially look for shorts here within this 15-minute, as long as it holds, and see continuation to the downside. If we zoom into the 1-minute chart, I was zoomed in here, looking to see if we were going to respect this or not after taking this high, and there's just simply, there wasn't enough for me. Yes, there is this inverse fair value gap right here. And there is a, you get the change in the state of delivery, and yeah, I guess you could have entered on something like this. Let's see. I mean, once we invert this for value gap, though, like, we've already taken the internal sell side. So not really. That's why I didn't take a trade here, but I was looking for something to play out here. If we go to ES, ES was a very similar scenario. This would be the 15-minute sell side that I had marked out. ES would have provided a better entry because we invert this for value gap up here, and we get our change in the state of delivery right here. And you could have entered on the pullback to the change in the state, which would be right here. Stops above here to be safe. I guess you could put stops here if that's a kind of a risky stop placement. Stops above the high here to be safe. That would have been about a 1.4, 1.5 RR trade if you had entered on something like this, because we had a 15-minute for value gap here as well. Same setup. But for me personally, especially being this early into market open and not being fully confident in the continuation lower, because we did already take this sell side liquidity, this is not a trade that I want to be taking. I would have potentially took this trade, though, if we had some sort of SMT, some sort of confirmation that this high is being manipulated, but there was no SMT present, and so yeah, I was really looking, in order to take a trade here, I was really looking for an SMT to be put in. There was no SMT put in, and this happened within the first 5 minutes of market open, so not really interested in that. And then once we got confirmation that we were actually going to hold this and continue lower, I had this 15-minute order block marked out, this 15-minute for value gap marked out, and like I said, there was no pullback to any of these. If we go to ES, we had these for value gaps marked out. We did same situation, barely tapped into this 5-minute. There was no sort of entry here. I mean, just not enough structure formed, and we just kind of opened up and dumped, and no trades for me. So gonna keep this video short and simple, not gonna ramble on too long, because that's it, man. And like I said, once we take this, what in this scenario is our external sell side liquidity, it's the swing low that we need to break in order to become bearish to this daily low here, and then potentially even to this monthly sell side here. Who knows if we're going to make new lows on the indexes, but right now we're looking pretty bearish. We're going to have to wait and see what kind of structure forms overnight, if we're going to hold the SMT with ES or not. That's currently in place. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, definitely going to continue to be bearish. And we do still have this new day opening gap up here that I want to see get filled at some point this week. But yeah, man, that's the trade. That's the market recap for today. No trades for me. Let me know if you took a trade down below. And that is what I saw today, and that's how I was looking to execute. But a no trading day for me is a good day, and that's how I think you should define your days. I follow my rules today. Didn't force anything and stuck to my plan, and so that's a green day in my book. So yeah, man. And it was a no news Monday. There's no reason to force anything on a no news Monday. We have a full week of trading, so wanted to stay extra patient today regardless. So happy with my trading day today. So that's going to do it for the market recap today. I appreciate you watching. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.